Munchies, welcome to the channel if you're new, or if you're not, I'm Alicia and I'm stoked you're here either way. It is back to school time, so I thought we would do another Bento Box inspiration video sharing lunch and snack box ideas. Remember, these are always here as inspiration, so I encourage you to take what resonates with you and adjust, modify the recipes. Don't feel that you need to remake these exact boxes. In fact, I want you to get creative and have fun with them. The first box is a snack box inspired by that classic Crackers ham and cheese Lunchable. I used some cracker cheese cuts that I bought pre-cut from the store to keep it simple. For the crackers though, I thought we would have some fun and make our own. I showed these quinoa crackers a few years ago, so it was time for an update. The base is quinoa flour, and I whisk in salt and garlic powder or whatever seasonings you'd like. Create a well in the center and then add in some warm water and coconut oil. Use a wooden spoon to form a dough and then knead with your hands until it's pliable. Roll out the dough between parchment and you want to get it pretty thin. I aim for about 1/8 of an inch or less. Then they can be cut into 1-inch squares or rectangles. Today I used a pizza cutter and I didn't care to measure because I just didn't worry about if they were perfect or not, but you do you. Poking some holes with a fork or skewer will allow the steam to escape and prevent the crackers from rising too much. Spray them down with a little bit of spray, add some coarse sea salt on top before they go into the oven and bake until golden, brown, and crisp. Cool before eating because they do crisp up as they cool. Salty and flavorful. Heads up that making your own quinoa flour, it might end up bitter, so you'll have to toast it first. I bought this one pre-made and it was not bitter at all. These crackers are easy, and I find that when I make my own crackers or my own snack foods like this, that I'm much more mindful when consuming them, and I tend to appreciate the experience more. The cheese and crackers, of course, need cuts of ham. I actually used summer sausage, and that can all be enjoyed separately or as a stack. For a sweet in this snack box, I am making some fruity oatmeal energy bites. I love energy bites because making them is pretty much a matter of mixing a bunch of delicious stuff together, and in this case, I used rolled oats, diced prunes, you could use raisins or any other dried fruit, chopped walnuts or any nuts you prefer, nut butter as your glue. I have used almond, walnut, peanut, and sunflower butter in these, maple syrup for sweetness and texture, orange zest and juice for flavor, along with ground cinnamon, ginger, and salt. Once it is a doughy mixture, you can portion it out with your cookie scoop. I prefer smaller for this snack box. Roll between your hands into a little sphere, but don't worry about making them perfect. So they're totally edible now, but I like to freeze for an hour or so until firm and then store in the fridge. Yum! They're fruity, they're oaty, they literally taste like all the stuff that's in them mixed into one bite. Exactly what you think you're gonna get. What's in the next box? This one is sort of like a bunch of snacks, but sometimes I like a plate of snacks as a meal, so it could be a lunch for me. Let's start with a basic cheese quesadilla, but we're making it in the air fryer. To be honest, I don't make quesadillas in the air fryer. They are so easy on the stove, but a lot of people have actually requested this, so I figured I'd try it out. I like to make quesadillas on the stove with butter, so I thought I would try one out in the air fryer with butter and one with cooking spray. So I got one side of each tortilla coated in each fat and then flipped to add cheese and then fold into halves. Feel free to add toppings in as well if you want. So those go into the air fryer basket. You may be able to fit 2 in there if your air fryer basket is big enough and your tortillas are small enough. Add a trivet on top so that the tortillas don't fly open during cooking, or you could use toothpicks to hold them closed. They cook for about 5 minutes. Now, I almost never flip anything in the air fryer, even when a recipe tells me to, so I didn't even bother to try, and it worked out fine. Cut into slices and enjoy. Now, to be honest, I am not sure I could tell the difference really between the butter and the oil spray here. The buttered one browned a little bit more, and it did have a slight buttery taste, but it wasn't significant. I mean, certainly not compared to the stovetop where I really notice a difference. So do whichever works for you. It was actually very easy to make and still as tasty as you'd expect. A great pairing with a quesadilla is salsa. I went with a homemade version today, and this one is kid-friendly because it's mild and simple. I love when salsa is fresh. It's just Roma tomatoes, green bell pepper, red onion, which is optional, as is cilantro, lime juice, and salt. It gets pulsed together until it's chunky or smooth as you'd like it. I like a little chunk in my salsa, and I love the colors. It is so fresh and vibrant. You could totally add, jalapeno or other ingredients to zest it up, but sometimes simple is what I crave. Also in this box is one of my favorite ways to enjoy veggies, a crudite. So a crudite is really just raw veggies served with dip, but I actually prefer to blanch some of the vegetables. This makes them more palatable and enjoyable for me personally. I simply boil water with salt and add vegetables like white and yellow cauliflower, petite carrots and broccolini, and purple cauliflower. I did batches so that the colored vegetables like the purple cauliflower wouldn't dye the others because the water does change. Some people will go with longer times for certain vegetables than others. I just let all of them go for about 90 seconds, but you might like anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes, so go with the firmness that you like. For me, just a little bit softer than raw is perfect. The blanched vegetables go straight into an ice bath to stop the cooking process. I love how the blanching also adds such a vibrancy to the colors. When I make this as a platter at home, I also add raw little gems, tomatoes, cucumber, and watermelon radish. And the whole point of a crudite for me is to make it easier to eat veggies. So blanching helps with the texture, but dips also help with the flavor. Any dip your heart desires. For this box, I went with hummus. This is also a kid-friendly hummus because it doesn't use tahini, which for some little ones is a little bit too strong. So it's just garbanzo beans, extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, cumin, and salt and pep mixed in the food processor until smooth. Delicious with dippers, but also I love using this on sandwiches. I finished this box off with some nitrate and nitrate-free hot dogs cut up with a little skewer for eating and some pork rinds for crunch and texture. This box could be a lunch or a variety of snacks. Take it and make it your own. Okay, we have got one more box today, and it's got one of my favorites, cheeseburger summer rolls. First, I make the burger meat by cooking up onions in olive oil and then adding the ground beef. I brown that in larger chunks for flavor before breaking it down. Once it's cooked through, I add spinach, relish, and salt and pep. The spinach wilts down, so feel free to be liberal. Let that cool before assembling your rolls. You will need rice paper rolls or wrappers. I will link the ones that I used in the description. My personal favorite way is to get a pot of warm water and soak the wrappers for about 15 seconds. So the package says 5 seconds, but I have found that is not enough time. Transfer the wet wrapper to a flat, dry surface and layer on your ingredients. I went with pickles, tomato, the burger meat, and cheese. Fold in the ends of the wrapper and then roll it up snugly. For burger fun, I added a little water to the wrapped roll and then rolled it through sesame seeds for a coating. Serve with ketchup and mustard for a true burger-like experience. What a fun way to enjoy a burger. Admittedly, these are best enjoyed right when you make them. They will hold up until lunch, but I prefer to eat them right away. Also in this box, I have got rainbow carrots, which I crinkle cut for fun, and toasted coconut chips. I took unsweetened coconut flakes and simply put them on a baking sheet with nothing else, and into the oven they go for just 3 to 5 minutes, and then they're done. Crispy, delicious, naturally sweet with no oil, sugar, or salt needed. I love snacking on them. And I finished this box off with some fruit, fresh green and red grapes. I try to get a nice balance of color and texture in each of these boxes. Remember that all of these are here as inspiration though, so have fun with the ideas, but make them your own. There are no rules about what is right or wrong when it comes to food or health, so I encourage you to find what works for you. Be curious, explore, and have fun with it. If you want more Bento Box inspiration, check out my Big Bento ebook, which you can get at a discount discounted rate if you use the code BTS2021 at checkout at mindovermunch.com/ebooks. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you'll subscribe and hit the bell for more. I appreciate you. I will be back next week with a brand new episode. And remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.